afternoon, fellow Misfits, and Happy New Year, y'all. It is the 2nd of January of 2024, so if you wrote 2023 on a sheet of paper, we're sorry, but just like our caffeine, here's your wake-up call, it's 2024.
I haven't written anything, but I'm pretty sure I have already written 2023.
I have in my mind, I'm sure of that.
It's probably going to take me until about June, until I finally catch up with everyone.
About the time the Christmas trees are supposed to come down. June.
Agree to disagree. I'd leave it up till about October.
October, December, whichever.
Yeah, leave it up year round. It's all good.
We're happy to be here with y'all. Obviously, it is not Monday, as we have in the title. It's not Monday, the Misfit Not Monday Debrief. But we wanted to come in live anyway, and since, everybody, we're all being lazy, and, if y'all had to work, we are sorry for that. We did stay closed just to finish wrapping up from all the festivities. But we figured we'd come live anyway today, and just no specific chit-chat. We don't have a specific topic. We just wanted to kind of go over.
I mean, I do, but...
Oh, well.
This.
Well, now I'm just completely thrown off. Throw the script away.
That's it. We'll do it live. Screw it. We'll do it live.
I had no script anyway. But so we're going to discuss all things Misfit today and anything else that may come up. It's going to be real lighthearted, so feel free to drop stuff in the chats. We'll take your comments as we go. But first and foremost, to start the year off, as we always ask, and especially rounding into a new year, let us know how it went. Let us know how your holidays went for Christmas, for even though it's a little after, any Hanukkah stuff that went on. Let us know how the new year was. If we can be praying for y'all at all, we do have a couple of y'all who've already reached out, and y'all been in our prayers for weeks anyway. So anything else that you want to ask and throw our way, that is what we're here for. First and foremost, the coffee comes second. So now that it's second, I'm going to take my sip. But, so, again, let us know how it's going, and here we go. We're going to give you a little bit on us. So, I guess just to start things off, brand new year, not brand new us, despite the time change and the calendar you're rolling over. Pretty sure we're all still the same. I don't think anyone grew any arms or extra appendages or anything like that.
Hey, man, that clock passing a couple of seconds just completely changed everything about me.
I know, it was kind of like one of those, when you're playing the game, you run to the map and it hadn't quite rendered yet, and then the whole thing just zooms. I swear I saw the whole planet come before my eyes.
Sky. Apparently still feeling the effects of staying up too late.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, so first, I guess we'll do business stuff, and then we'll kind of talk and just let y'all know what we did. Going into business stuff first, so sadly all the deals have concluded. For those of y'all who did come out and take advantage of them, thank you for doing so. We do still have 2 of the gift baskets remaining that if you come in and ask, we may end up throwing you a deal on them anyway, just because they're already ready for it. But all the deals have finished. Keep an eye out, though, and give any suggestions if you're looking for any. I know that seems silly. Everyone's always looking for deals. But, again, of buying for the people. So if there's anything that you would look for, specifically at times of the year, you let us know. But with that being done, though, I think we do have some stuff rotating in as stuff rotates out.
We have one of the...
Racing.
Race stuff. We have one of possibly the best roasts that I have ever liked. It was the one that we kicked off our 40. Well, I guess technically it wasn't. We kicked off with Guatemala, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Well, either way, it is befitting the 45 ACP because as everyone who knows anything about guns knows, the 45 ACP is the Lord's caliber, and this one is, I would say, the Lord's roast. It is phenomenal. It is fire. It's the first dark roast I truly fell in love with. I know it's not a Sumatran or a Sulawesi or Bali, but for what it is, probably one of the greatest. It is our red, white, and Peru back in stock. If you weren't here for the first part of it, you better hurry because this isn't going to sit here long, even if I have to be the only one to drink it. It still will not sit here long, and that's saying a lot because I don't drink coffee anywhere near as much as Jonathan does.
Whoops. Man, and I tell y'all, we got about 130 pounds of it, and then checked back a couple days later just to keep an eye on it, and it was already sold out. So what we have is what we have. So as Matt Chazzler said, that red, white, and Prue is back. We've already started roasting it. It's kind of a surprise to me. It tastes about the same. It's like identical to the one we had this time last year.
Oh man, as I've said multiple times, I'm a sweet tooth kind of guy. I like to drink my coffee with a little bit of syrup added and just stuff to add the taste. And I brewed myself up some Peruvian this morning, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna taste it first. Taste it, get ready to go, and then add my stuff. Put it on, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, it caught me by surprise. So y'all come in and get it. We've got it ready for you. We've got beans put aside already. So you're looking for whole bean, Keurig, whatever you need, drip pot, anything in between. We've got plenty for it. Come on in and grab it, because again, we promise you it ain't gonna last long, and we can't save any specifically for you. Oh, we got hecklers at the window. That's our strategist dropping in and making sure that we're doing things. Which, yes, we are doing things.
Got apparently something going on with audio, and unfortunately, I can't hear it through the headphones.
Huh.
I don't know what's going on.
Are they hearing us, or are they?
They're hearing us, but they're saying it seems like both have feedback. I don't know. Nick's saying something about swimming. I don't know if it.
Swimming with the fishes never sounds good.
Oh,
Oh, we're back?
oh, we found it.
We're back?
Record. Okay, interesting. So now I have to plug into here. I should be able to hear.
Okay, so we think, if y'all can hear us, let us know. I think we got, which y'all just got to stare at our face a couple minutes. So thank you for bearing with that.
Oh, there's a bad echo. Oh, that's
Ah, okay.
There we go.
Excellent. Man, see, this is why, we had the discussion about who was sitting in the driver's seat this morning, and I said, if something goes wrong, I'm not going to be able to fix it quick. So, shout out to you,
Okay.
Josh. You got that running. If it wouldn't knock the headphones off like I seem to throw everything, he'd be taking a bow. So thank y'all for hanging in there. We're back. So I don't know where it dropped out.
I don't know, but I feel necessary to tell them Peruvian is back. Red, white, and Peru. Get it. It is wonderful. It is phenomenal. It is fire in your mouth, but not like
Not actual.
or spicy or anything like that. It's wonderful.
Spicy coffee would be interesting though.
I mean, I guess so.
I'd try it. I don't know if I'd keep drinking it, but I'd certainly try it.
You might as well try something once.
But all right, so we got the Peruvian out. We've got a couple others in the pipeline. Our match grade roast, which is our premium line for all of you who understand terminology there. The Rwandan, which we've got a couple of y'all. Shout out to Nick Roy, who drinks it pretty much every morning, like every morning.
I actually set my clock to him.
Yeah.
It's even more accurate than an atomic clock. It's time for Nick Roy to get coffee. Now I know what time it is.
And he'll tell you, and we'll tell you, it's there really is something specific to those beans. We charge a little more because we pay a little more, but the quality of the coffee, I mean, our stuff is, from what we hear, phenomenal as it stands. But those beans, just the flavor that comes through is just so much more rich and smooth and bold. So come on in and ask for the Rwandan. We will be offering that in bags as well as cartridges. So come on in and give it a try. So with that, moving forward, nothing new completely in terms of businesses that we're working with. Y'all can see them on the Misfit Businesses page, misfit-militia.com/misfit-businesses. And I believe we touched on it already in the previous weeks, but go check out the new site. We've done some revamps to it. It flows a lot better, looks a lot better, and should convey information to y'all a lot better. So that covers all that. Beyond that, I think we're pretty much just rocking and rolling for the beginning of this month. So we got plenty roasted leading into the new year, so we're ready for you. So come on in.
If we're not ready, we'll get there.
You know it.
I tell you what, it's been a lot of fun from where we were, looking back to where we were. I mean, Jonathan and I have talked about it. We'd be sitting there waiting for people to come in and just have the bags on the shelves, not knowing how we want to keep it. Which, by the way, Jonathan busted out an old bag of coffee. We're talking about like a year old.
Yeah.
Sat there for a year and busted it out and tasted phenomenal.
Which I don't know how many of you remember from way back when we were still setting up inside West Tennessee Vapors with just the folding table out and selling coffee that way when we had our first Brazilian out there. And that was the bag we cracked open, which I'll admit, and this has always been a thing with me, as soon as it goes, even just a couple days after a certain threshold, I know it still tastes good, but I'm always nervous that something's going to get just stale. And every time I'm proven wrong, but this is why we check. So we can verifiably say now that our coffee retains taste for a minimum of a year. Because that's how old that bag was. And I must have drank... no, not even half. I drank a full pot of that yesterday. Yesterday, just sitting there playing.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
And it was still wonderful. So for those of y'all who still have bags tucked in the back, fear not, because they hold.
I'll say, you got yourself quality coffee. It's like anything else. You get it quality, you're gonna get quality results.
And before we go too far back in the looking back on 2023, I do want to say thank you to all y'all who came in and met my little mini me over this last week. Because going back to that same statement of waiting for customers, she used to be waiting for people to come in and just, Daddy, I just want to see some customers. And y'all just showed out. I mean, granted, we were only in for 2 days last week. But on Tuesday, just people flooding in and out the door. Her getting to see everybody. You got to see her brew coffee because that's one of her favorite things to do. It was wonderful.
I don't say. I didn't even get to finish my thought because my ADD brain kicked in and a squirrel ran by. But just going from sitting around and all that to now, like every time I've come in, there's no shortage of stuff to do. Working hard to try and get things caught up because y'all are just coming out. Y'all are buying like crazy. It's such a blessing.
Oh yeah.
And even just the feedback that we get. Nick's over here saying that he's never had a bad cup of Misfit Militia coffee. Which, hey, we appreciate, Nick. We know we're no Wendy's or Vaporwise, but we appreciate that you like ours. But just the people coming in, buying, having to haul and work to try and keep the stock shelf, and then come in and see the shelves are empty again. It's hard work, but it's a blessing.
Yeah, a big blessing. And y'all blessed my daughter by her being able to see it as well. It's just coming in and seeing, okay, well, Daddy and the Misfits aren't running around for nothing. Like we got stuff that we're having to run after. Even just this, having issues with the video and getting comments back from y'all, we appreciate.
Yep. I'll say that's the thing. I keep trying to find different ways to make sure I have everything covered and figure out where to plug in, figure out I got working this time, and switch around, and then just there's still a few more things we need to get. Bear with us. Of course. We're trying to work and upgrade the game so that it sounds like professional, because we don't do anything half-baked here or half-roasted. Sorry. We don't do anything half-roasted here at Misfit Militia Coffee, but it's one of those things where we're still trying to work with what we got until we can get there. But just having all that feedback and being able to get it figured out and actually get you guys something that you can listen to.
Yep. And we'll tell you, from all of us looking back on this last year of just, as we're sitting here thinking back on, okay, now it's tax season, so we're going back and logging and counting inventory, which we'll get into because we're gonna let y'all know that is just it's just a pain. It really is. But looking back and just tallying up things like how many lids we've gone through, how many bags we've gone through, the amount of miles that we've driven in just going back and forth to y'all, I think I speak on behalf of all of us when I say that the biggest thing we can say is thank you just for that support that we have to drive multiple thousand miles within the first year just to attend events, get things out, get people coffee.
Phil's announced our strategy as provided by your daughter for 2024,
Let's hear it.
and that is just get your coffee in more stores, and then you'll sell it.
I don't know if we actually told y'all that full story. That I was sitting talking with my daughter one night, and she goes, "Daddy, see your store is in the back. It needs to be in the front. So just move the store.
Just take your store and push it to the front."
Her favorite thing from mine that she said was, as we keep quoting, "If you want to sell more coffee, just put it in more stores."
I don't know why we didn't think of that, but
that's clearly why we don't have a massive warehouse at this point, because we weren't running with that philosophy. But for 2024, little one, we're running with that philosophy.
Yeah, we are.
So it's just wise words.
Also,
wise words.
We're only gonna put it in stores that are small businesses because we're not huge fans of big corporations.
No, sorry.
I would say you as I've gotten into this, I've gotten more involved in this, and actually start looking at things more critically and just start analyzing things. Like, we talk about, obviously we're not for big government, because big government just, every time the government tries to help, well, you can look at everything out there. You look at Baltimore, you look at California as a whole, you look at Chicago, and just all the things they're fighting. Every time the government goes to fight something, it's like a 50-year process in which a bunch of money is spent and nothing gets done.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but big government's only possible when you have big corporations giving them money, dictating what's going on. And so, realistically, it ties back to what the Bible says. The love of money is the roots of all kinds of evil. Yep. And you see, wherever there's copious amounts of money, there's easily corruption. It's very hard for us as humans to have a large sum of money and not use it to benefit ourselves or to use it for corrupt purposes. So it's one of those things where we're going to embrace avoiding the big companies and trying to work with little companies and grow the small business in America.
Yep, and that's something we want to assure of y'all is, again, we're gonna state just a couple things that we're looking to do this year just to start, but just never have the fear that we're gonna go big. We may grow, and we may get bigger, and we may get very big if the Lord wills it, and we'd be happy to do it. But we're never going to get to the point where we're big. All of y'all that we've befriended, everybody that we've worked with, it's all through small businesses, even some medium-sized businesses, but people who understand that God first, it takes hard work and sweat and tears to get a business running type mentality, and we're not going to get to the point where we've had a couple people ask us, "Oh, when are you going to be up on a Walmart shelf?" And it's, we're not, and we're not offended that you ask. It's something people usually aspire to, but if it takes us 5 years longer to get there without getting on a Walmart shelf, we'll take the 5 years.
Also, Nick, shut up. he answered it because neither of us have enough thinking capacity or skills. Maybe I don't have reading skills either. trying to read and commentate and all these things.
I'm the one who had to stop everything else just to roast, so maybe I don't have that much mental capacity.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But fair enough.
Regardless, we will be putting our mental capacity on stuff to bring you this year.
Oh, Nick, my guy, you step into this domain, I take it as a threat against my life. So you come up here with any of that threat. Just saying. It's in the emblems. It's in the logos. It's part of why we went into business.
So on that note, for 2024, I think one of the bigger things we're looking to do, moving throughout in terms of looking for where the business should be, and we know it's something Princess Magpul has talked about a lot, is starting to look at even some of the surrounding states and just starting to try and hit some of them. For those of y'all who've worked with us here locally, again, we really appreciate it, and we understand that there's a lot that we're looking to do this year to even help y'all continue to move in business. Be moving more coffee and moving it more readily, and even helping with packages to help out. So if any of y'all are watching, you looking to carry our stuff, you go ahead and ask us, because we've got stuff in the works for that. But we're looking to start branching out to Arkansas and Missouri and places around, because it's something that we've sat and looked at maps, and I know I've heard her say it a couple times of we could go here, we could go look here, and I think now we're finally at a point where we can.
Say if we ever go into California, which if I have a say in it, we won't. I'm gonna put in there that cardboard has been known since our stuff is shipped in bags. Everything that goes into our product, I'm just going to say it has been known to cause cancer. And part of their Prop 65 or whatever, the CO2 that comes off the beans, and we'll just have warning labels everywhere that everything related to coffee in the state, only in the state of California, only in the state of California has been known to cause cancer.
Exclusive labels.
Yeah.
Unless we're able to bring it to John MacArthur out there.
Ooh.
Then we're talking straight up.
Oh yeah.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm. Heck, if we had an address, I'd ship him some just because.
You ain't lying.
And tell him the Book of James tells us the laborer deserves his wages. We can't give you money, but we'll give you coffee.
So here you go.
And also, here's a little bit of money. The laborer deserves his wages.
We just, that whole barter system. Some cash, some product. But that's something we're looking to do. And also in the greater West Tennessee area. And we've moved out a bit, and we spent half the year last year just on the road for a couple months. All we did was just drive around. I know I logged Lord knows how many hours just driving up and down the streets of Dyersburg and New Bern. But with stuff that we've picked up in terms of who's gonna not just getting stuff in stores, but who's gonna benefit. You will be seeing us more throughout West Tennessee now throughout this year.
I think that's the thing for us. It's our goal has never been get a paycheck. It's we wanted, if someone's going to carry a product, that they're actually going to do well with it. We want, because you can't build a sustainable business off of one-time purchases. You need repeat. You need partnerships. You need people who benefit from having your product, and you need to offer them something that they can move fairly easily. So it's not a matter of just get a bunch of people to buy it and have no one sell it, and then just have no one want to get any more of it. We want to work as much as we can with everyone that chooses to go with our product.
Right, which goes everything from brew method to products on the shelves. I mean, I think we've said it on here before that certain origins, certain roast levels, certain calibers just sell better in certain areas. Milan, I love y'all because you appreciate the light roast. Like it's something, for some reason, if we step foot in Milan, we're selling Ethiopian, and it goes like crazy. Dyersburg, I love y'all because you like more of the Sulawesi's and the Guatemalans and the Peruvians, and there's everything in between even by city, and that's really what we want it to be. Like Josh said, this is not a thing of we're gonna push stuff to get a paycheck. We will grow as God allows it, but our goal is that whoever's carrying our stuff knows us, knows the brand, and knows that when we sell them something, it's because it's gonna sell.
I was gonna say the only time you'd see us go big, I can guarantee you find 3 other things, an obituary for each of us, because it ain't gonna be us that make that decision.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
So
that's like big goals for 2024.
I'll say another one with that is trying to get some classes started to be offered for myriad of things. The big ones that I'm thinking to start off with, especially for 2024, and that I'd like to get into, is one for beginners, people who've never touched a pistol. If you don't know anything about pistols, don't know anything about safe handling, you just think they're completely dangerous and there's no safe way to handle them, I want to have a class geared towards y'all. We're working on something. I'm not going to announce it yet, but we're working on something. Hopefully it works out, but we'll see. But I also want to offer a class just doing home defense, CQB stuff, close quarters engagements, things in your house, the best way to approach it, the best way to do it, things to consider, things to look out for, and just offer some things so we can actually start training, getting people trained up to have a firearms, to be comfortable with firearms, and to know that they can protect themselves. That is the biggest thing for us, is giving you the tools and the comfort and the confidence to protect yourself should the time come that you ever need to. Because we have insurance on cars, we have insurance for our health, we have insurance for all these things. You have extended warranties. We have all these things to make sure that nothing goes wrong, but not because we anticipate it going wrong, but just in case. A gun is the insurance policy of you not being attacked. No one wants to be attacked. In fact, we will go out of our way. We'll avoid areas that seem rough. We'll go, make decisions beforehand so as to not find ourselves in that situation. But we understand the situation may find you even if you're trying to avoid it.
Yeah. And so that's, and I know even on my morning runs, I've had discussions with y'all. We've had discussions all over the place, whether we're together or not, or like, and together, I mean, whether it's just one of us or it's all three of us. We know that there is, even just here in immediate Dyersburg, there's a strong need for just someone to help learn how to use a firearm. And I can spot it immediately because I was there just 4 years ago now, since the years rolled over, which is weird. Because some backstory, when I first met Josh, I think I had finally purchased. No, it was right before I'd purchased my first pistol, and I was the one who'd safety lock through. That's stored somewhere. Magazine is empty, stored on the other side of the room. A box of 20 rounds, and that's all I had, was stored somewhere else. And it wasn't until we had a pretty serious experience out on a trip, the three of us, of just someone emptying a magazine down the block from where we were staying, that I had to second guess and look at myself real hard and go, okay, like I'm a dad. Like I have no, like, it's great to be strong, like lifting weights is great, but it doesn't, you can't lift weights faster than a bullet can travel. And so not being able to defend your family, something that God calls us to do as men, and something that God calls women to do for their children when the husband's out of the home. So I can tell you from, and this is not just because Josh is, Josh is my family. Like, this is because I went through it. He was able to teach me in a way that I didn't know people looked at guns. Kind of taking, if you want to go analytical, he'll give it to you analytical. If you need a dumbed down version because you don't want all the specifics, he'll give you that. But no matter how you ask him for it, you're going to learn how to handle it, and you're going to learn how to handle it proficiently.
Yeah, that's the thing. I can dive in as deep as you want to understand it. I can go as shallow as you want to understand, just as long as there are basics that need to be understood, such as how to safely handle it. And that's the biggest thing, is that you can safely handle a firearm. You just, I've the more and more I've learned, and I guess talking to people, living my own life, and just through the experiences, understand that that's just how we are as people. When we don't know, when we've not gone through and learned and there are things that we'll think are dangerous simply because we just don't have the information. And once we get it, we look at it like, I don't know why I was even afraid of this. I mean, case in point with me with snakes. Deathly terrified. And then Princess Magpul, who is the animal whisperer, who can, she hasn't found an animal she doesn't like except for stink bugs. She talked about snakes and all this and pointed me to people who were good resources. I started watching some of them, talking to her, and we have a bunch of ball pythons, and I freaking love them. I understand them now. I know which ones are dangerous. I know which ones are not. I know what to look for. I know what to avoid. I know what actions, most snakes aren't actually aggressive except for maybe king cobras, which we don't have any of those around here, so I have nothing to worry about. But it's once you know what to look out for, all the fear goes away because you understand it now.
Yeah. And so keep an eye out for those classes, because that's, that was that was a founding point of Misfit Militia, was to really, the coffee aspect makes it, the business, like, just so that there's stuff going in and out. We really wanted this to be something we stand firm in our faith, and that the whole Second Amendment portion there was being able to teach people how to exercise that right of being able to keep and bear arms. So you're going to see us, putting out a bit in terms of discussion and all. Without going too far on anything, I'm just going to say you'll hear more about stuff, but keep an eye out for it. When you see classes come up, we can promise you it's not going to be anything overpriced, crazy, anything. It's just because you shouldn't have to empty your pocket to be able to exercise your rights. We feel that way about coffee. We feel that way stronger when it comes to our faith and the Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
So keep an eye out for those. Going to be a lot for that coming in with this year.
I'll say I'm hoping that you very well may see, because as most of us know, your phone's listening to you. We all know it. There's no shock. You start talking about something, you don't even Google search it. Next thing you know, you're playing this ad and, oh, look at that. The thing you were just talking about is now being advertised directly towards you.
I once had that about what the actual Hebrew name for a marriage license in Hebrew. Just having an off the wall discussion with my aunt one day years ago, and it's a ketubah is the Jewish marriage license. And I kid you not, I'd opened Facebook, scrolled once, ketubah. I was like, there's no way it's not listening. There's just no way.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I understand they're talking about, oh, yeah, it looks and sees what your search history and this and stuff like that. There's been times where people haven't even talked about it. I know I can't think of one specifically, but I know with my family, there was one time where, like, well, this is weird. I didn't even search this, and now it's showing me ads for this. Like,
no.
But we're hoping that one of those times is just going to pop up, and you are going to see our faces in an ad, and me screaming at you. Well, someone screaming at you to buy Misfit Militia coffee. Maybe just text
Screaming at you.
Yeah, because then it comes in through their head, and they get to hear the voice screaming, whichever voice they want. It could even be Patrick.
I wonder whose voice they'd hear.
I don't know. I hope Morgan. Well, no, Morgan Freeman doesn't really scream.
No, not really. Maybe shoot, I don't know.
I don't know who's a good narrator that you'd hear for screaming.
Because I immediately thought of the Wilhelm scream, but that's just the that's not an actual like voice.
I say hopefully they think of Steve Carell. I don't know why we're yelling.
Loud noises.
There we go.
I can see. Okay, so if you see it, you're gonna have to hear it in that voice, and if you don't, well,
peace be upon you.
Yeah, that's that one. So coffee. You hear about firearms. I think rounding up from last year. Real quick, what was your highlight from last year? I know there's a lot, and we should have asked Princess Magpul. If I thought about it, we would have asked her, but assuming she's watching, she can drop it in the comments, let y'all know. Just one highlight that we've got from the year.
I'll say, yeah, Princess Magpul, if you're in the comments, drop us down your highlight for there. Oh, man.
Because I think I can tell you
got
mine.
One, you go.
And this technically goes back just a little over a year, because it was like right to the start, but we're kind of putting that whole year and a half from date of inception to everything looped into this. And I say it's highlight not because of the event specifically, but because of, and I've said it before, but what I didn't realize it was going to mean. But a good friend of ours, Logan, when we were still inside West Tennessee Vapors with the folding tables, he'd come up to us and he looked at me at the end of one of the days we'd set up, and this was like a month in to us just setting up with the table, and he looked at me and he said, he's like, and I mean this with no disrespect, but your coffee's so good now, but I really can't wait to see what it looks like in a year. And I froze. And I remember, going home and just saying to Josh and Angela, and I was just like, man, like how is it going to get any different? Like, I think I'm doing the best I can do right now. Like, what am I supposed to do any better? Just to seeing, and I guess the reason that's my highlight is because just to look at where we're at now with the amount that we've all grown just as family and as a business, and where we've gone with the brand, where we've gone with the coffee, to having my daughter sitting here with people walking in and out the door, and just realizing, if God's going to bring something somewhere, it's as we say, Josh, you quote from the pulpit all the time, God doesn't, call the equipped, he equips the called. Just understanding that this is where we are, and if God wants it to thrive, it's going to thrive. It just, it weekly, it just flashes through my head of, wow, that's God's doing what he wants to do.
Yeah. It's so hard to say what was really the highlight. I don't have anything that really stands out necessarily. I mean, there's a lot of big things. I think one of the big thing was, I guess the highlight for me, this is gonna be me being a little more real with you guys, is, we started this. We knew we weren't going to take out a business loan because we didn't want to be beholden to anyone. We didn't want to have to hit certain marks and do things and say, okay, well, we're going to have to change our business model because what we're doing isn't selling. The majority of people don't want it. We were fine if our business model was just for the small. We wanted that. And so we knew part of the plan was that if the time came where we took what money we had and it didn't work out, I would have to go back to work. And so I went back to work last November, and trying to balance that out in personal life and all that, I stopped being involved with the business and stopped really striving because I was usually, I'd say, oh, I'm tired, oh, this, I'm all that, and got out of it enough where it got to a point where, honestly, I didn't even really feel like I knew what was going on with the business that I was a part of, and came back, and actually through watching Bar Rescue, decided I wanted to come back in, and realized one of the issues that I had was, obviously, in fairness, Jonathan was the only one running it, so the shop was set up for him, and he worried about the things he felt was priority, which is what I'd expect him to do, and the back was just kind of set up so how he could get by, and so I wanted to do it, just maybe went about expressing it the wrong way, but Jonathan and I actually had to have a come to Jesus meeting with one another.
We had some words.
We had very loud words. When I tell you my throat was like scratchy, and it hurt to talk just because of how, like, just letting it all out, but letting it out and realizing, we're here, we're not here to be better than one another. We're here to be obedient to God first and foremost. There was, yes, we had a lot of frustration just from things being unspoken between the two of us, things that I was doing, things that he was doing, but the Lord, after after the guys were dudes for a little bit, the brotherhood kicked in, and we were able to calmly talk, and coming back in and actually taking charge and actually contributing and seeing the things. I think the highlight for me was, after doing that change, seeing the things that Jonathan was able to accomplish. When I took production of goods off his plate and he could actually focus on business things, I tell you what, he's done a lot of things. He's got a lot of things accomplished. He's done a phenomenal job. And the nice thing is, after getting that set up, then, there's been times transferring over to second shift, Princess Magpul's come in. She's pulled a lot of weight. She's produced a lot of bags and K-Cups. And I tell you what, she can... I got to find something new to do, because she can pretty much do everything I was doing. She came in and said, okay, here we go. And so it's just been a blessing to, like, one, to feel actually a part of my business again, but two, to see how much you've been able to do since I've taken the busy work off, and three, to see Princess Magpul to step in and just, like, pick up a lot of slack, because she's done a lot, you've done a lot. I've been able to get back and actually come in and continue to do things, and just seeing it grow us together, as well as the benefit it's been to the business. That's probably been my highlight.
And look, we share these things not as a sob story of, like, oh, look and feel bad for it. Like, it's because we've said since day one, like, we're going to be fully transparent. It was, there have been a lot of kinks to work out. I mean, Josh having to jump back into work and having to jump around with that. Princess Magpul hardly gets to be here from the hours that she works. All of her work gets seen behind the scenes, and so she doesn't even get to hear it the same. Same with a lot with Josh. A lot of it is, the labels you see, but the stuff behind the scenes, there's so much that's missed. And the reason we share it is for that full transparency of, look, like, we're still just three people figuring out what God wants to do with the business, and how we take a biblical business and make it thrive in a world-centered world. I think that's a really good point, a highlight to bring up, just because, again, it glorifies God. It shows where we've been able to come as God has grown us as people, and how the business has thrived from it.
I'll say, in Princess Magpul's highlight has been getting able to go to the farmers markets, working those, and then just seeing the community come out, supporting us, and having them recognize. They're like, oh yeah, I've seen this, or oh yeah, so and so drinks this. Oh yeah, that's like the best. Oh, I had this before. It's the greatest stuff.
Man, I tell y'all, it's so funny, because you ask Princess Magpul herself, and she'll tell you she's an introvert. But if we step back and just let her go at the farmers markets, you ought to see that girl sell some coffee.
Oh,
if you haven't been out to see it yet, it's pretty great.
She can sling lead and she can sling coffee. So,
mm-hmm. And both Peruvian and Guatemalan were ones that it just, before you even get what's your fit, Guatemalan, Peruvian, just out, and then they're gone. We've joked around about having sales contests of, okay, we're going to an event, we've got 4 bags of this one. Who's gonna sell more? And just everybody kind of going at it, and it's a lot of fun to see.
Then Big Eddie got, because his highlight has been sitting in the chair every Friday,
Excellent.
talking about anything from God to food to coffee, and just laughing at and with one another. Which I gotta say, that is agreed, Big Eddie. It is fun.
I tell you, one thing I never thought of all the things that I can say I anticipated. The one thing I never anticipated was having people, like, I can say misfits, but I can also truly mean just close friends and family coming up and hanging out on certain days and just getting to sit and talk and just fellowship. That thing that we've seen time and time again, especially in Dyersburg, where everything is factory based and everything is, 12-hour shifts, 14-hour overtimes, and 6-7 days a week, 13 days on, 1 day off. People don't get a chance to sit and talk, and then they find themselves just looking for a voice. And those are the people that we get along with anyway. Like, those are the people who are thinking on the same thread as we are to start with. To get and sit and talk with them, even just once a month, has just been wonderful.
Yeah, it's been a blessing getting to meet all y'all and just getting to talk, sit down, build friendships, and just, have people who strongly support us, both with their money and with encouragement. It's a great thing.
And Lord willing, one day soon, we'll actually have some kind of lounge where people can actually come and sit and talk, and we can have roasting going on, but there's conversation and all just going on in there. And I understand that's not the traditional coffee shop, but we don't do anything traditional to begin with.
I say, tell all your friends to buy, because buddy, when I say we have big plans, if we can get the sales in, we have expansion plans that we are already thinking through, and what we do to grow big enough to supply everyone who wants wonderful, spectacular coffee.
And we really do say that with full, genuine hearts of, for you, the people. If any of y'all have asked, we've said from the start, we want enough to live. This isn't something to try and turn into, and I don't say this derogatory, so no one get mad. I don't mean this like
we don't care.
Or do. It's fine. I'm gonna say it anyway.
Excellent.
This isn't like a trying to become the next Black Rifle and be a huge name and be on every shelf everywhere, and everybody's willing to drop thousands of dollars. And I'm not saying that derogatory to them. I'm just saying that's not our goal. It's we have, God's already allotted a number of people we're supposed to reach. Our goal is to reach those people and to be community to those people. And we'll have people who drink and enjoy it, and if we never get to talk to them, that's sad, but we'd like to. But we're never going to get so big that we can't sit and have discussions on a Friday morning when we're roasting coffee.
I didn't say, part of our original discussion, we didn't want them to look around and say, oh, I recognize the brand. It's, oh, you're a fellow misfit. We wanted you to recognize each other. I wanted it to be a thing that you saw someone wearing a Misfit Militia shirt, and you just give them a nod like, you know what's up. Hey, there's a brother right there. Hey, I got your back. Yeah, that's what the vision. That's what the vision from the start has been. We wanted it to be, you see each other out and about, and you know that person got your back. That's why our message, bringing unity to Democrats and Republicans, to whatever you consider yourself politically. We're trying to get the people to understand that they're. We're not in a two-party system. We're in a one-party system. Democrats and Democrats that call themselves Republicans. The government's just there to grow themselves. That's all it is. And we're trying to get people to understand, the Second Amendment. The most important phrase of that isn't even the right to keep and bear arms. The most important phrase of that if you understand, everything else falls in place, is a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. You are necessary. Your ability to fight, your willingness to fight, is necessary for your state to stay free. You are there to protect your people, and that's what we're trying to build. Is this idea of, I'm here to protect me and my own. I'm here to protect my community, both physically and fiscally. I'm going to support this small business because I know this family. A Walmart corporation comes in and they're going to employ some people, but you know what? The complaint that people have about being undervalued, being underappreciated, that all comes from big business.
Yep.
Small business, you can't afford to have somebody worthless. So you're going to pay them enough to keep them around so long as you're able, or you're going to create an atmosphere that they're not going to want to leave, even if the pay is higher.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what we're trying. That's what we're trying to build.
And which is why, for those of you who've asked, we can't hire anyone yet. Lord willing, one day, but we know the worth of the people who shop with us and shop with us firm, and we would have to be able to properly do that because we are not going to shortchange anybody. We are not that kind of business.
You know, since we're getting up there in time, the one thing I did want to finish with, and I don't know.
Here we go. Go for it.
I'll say we'll go for it. We'll go in. But one of the things we kind of want to start doing is addressing different topics. And I figured with the new year, I guess I'm not going to say new year, new me, because it's new year and however many years old you are now, But, you know, one of the things, you make resolutions, you make resolves, and one of the things we want to do is what do we need to get back to truly make America great? And this is just something that I wanted to throw in here because I look around and I look at the attitudes and look at the thing. And so the one I'm going to start off with and throw out there today is the one thing that America has lost that truly made America great. And this is actually fundamental to how the Constitution is supposed to work. And it's fundamental to the Constitution working at all, is that we need to get back to doing the right thing simply because it's the right thing.
Yep. I mean, my daughter and I have had discussions about that where it's the biggest thing that I want to know with her is that even when her daddy's not around, when I'm not, because she does live in a different state, when I'm not there, that the things that she's learned and the things that she knows are right are the things that she's going to stick to doing. And the times that she picks up the phone, I can hear it in her voice before she even says it, the excitement when she goes, Daddy, I thought about this thing, but I knew you wouldn't want me to do it. So I you wouldn't want me to do it because it's not right, because this isn't what God tells us to do, because of this or that and the other. So I didn't do it, or so I stayed away from that, or so I got away from this thing. That having true integrity is something that has been so far gone because culture nowadays has taught us to look for, well, who's going to catch you? It's wrong unless you get caught.
And to some degrees this is true. There's no victim, so, or I'm not actually hurting anybody. Like taking an extra bit on break, taking this, which I'm not gonna sit there and say you should be rigorous about being on break, but it's just what prompted this for me is just having people, either through social media or at work, just talk about, well, I would work harder if I got paid more. No, you took a job. And part of taking that job says you will give them the labor that they're asking for. If they're asking you to do something, you took that job, you should do it with exceptional abilities. You should do it to the best of your abilities. You should do it as good as you can, for no other reason than that's you took the job.
Yep.
How would you want it done? If you were the boss who hired, and how would you want it done? If you're okay with it being slopped by, if it's your company, fine. If you truly think customers don't care and you don't care as a customer, but that's the problem. Some of these people are like the same people who would be the first to complain if there's even a slight scratch on their product.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like you have to, there's not this thing of, well, pay me more and I'll do better work. No, you took the job at the wage that they offered. If you don't like the work they're expecting for you for the wages that you got, find a different job.
Yep.
That's how it goes. I understand. We're in Biden's economy. It's going to be hard to find a new job. I get it. The problem is you still took that one. Start a small business. If it's really that thing, do something, or go find a way to cut costs in your own living. But if you take something and you say that I'm going to do this job, then do it, and do it to the best of your ability. Do it as if it's your own business and you're trying to make your business successful. It doesn't matter if you never get paid more.
Yep. That's exactly right. It's all that integrity thing. I know for me, when we started here, and Princess Magpul never got to jump out of her job. Josh ended up having to go back for other work, and I'm sitting here day in and day out going, okay, does it? If they walked in at this moment, if either of them even separately walked in at this moment and saw what I was doing, would it look Would it look like I was actually working? And the days that I knew I spent hours and hours working and felt like I got nothing done, I would get genuinely frazzled. I'm like, I don't want them to come in the next day and look and say, well, what did you get done? I swear I got something done. Luckily I have two close friends here that understand. But you always, Bible tells us to avoid the appearance of evil. So at the very least, don't let yourself even look like you're slacking off. And that's, as Josh said, that's not a thing of like, if you're 5 seconds late coming back from break, then slap yourself on the wrist. It's just understanding when you can relax, you can relax. But when you need to give, and you need to give that time and earn your keep, you do it and you push.
Well, and that's the thing. Biblically, those of you who are Christians listening to this, I mean, we as Christians, and I hold myself to this, that we are called to work as unto the Lord. And so you don't even look at it as, well, I'm working for Tyson. Oh, I'm working for Vape Shop or Misfit Militia Coffee. No, I'm working for the Lord. So I need to be behaving as if I'm doing work for the Lord. Yeah. And the reason this is so critical is the whole idea behind the Constitution, the whole idea behind why it says, why the Founding Fathers used the right to keep and bear arms. That's the big point that a lot of gun people use. Oh, it says arms. Oh, it says arms. Yes, they didn't specify what type of weaponry they want, because people who do the right thing because it's the right thing to do, you don't have to worry if they have a nuclear warhead. You don't have to worry if they have a bazooka. You don't have to worry if they have a fully automatic Gatling gun. If you're going to do the right thing, you're never going to use it for evil. Yep. That's what we got away from. And as we get away from it, what the nature of human is to say, well, they're not going to govern themselves, so the government needs to step in. The more that you may be someone who already does this. You may already be doing it. That's good. Keep doing it. Mm-hmm. Keep being an example. Do not let the world drag you down. Do not let the people around you drag you down to their mentality of, screw it. No one else is giving anything. I'm not going to give anything. Continue to be the light that we need to be. This country will not get better if we let ourselves get pulled down to the level. We have to hold ourselves to a higher standard. We have to behave as people of integrity, and we have to train up people around us. We have to have the conversations with people and encourage people to be people of integrity and to do the right thing simply because it's the right thing. Because the more people we can influence and get to do that, the better this country will be. We truly will be great again.
Yep. And if you need encouragement for that, that's why we're here. Like if you're stuck in a place where no one cares and you're the only one who does, and you don't feel like caring anymore, you come find us. Mm-hmm. Because we're going to be the first to tell you it doesn't matter. I mean, if you need to listen to anyone, go talk to Princess Magpul and let her tell you all the hours that she has worked extra at her job, knowing that it might not even be recognized. And you'll find yourself an example. And that's just one. You can ask any of us, but just throw one out there. You go ask her about that, she'll be the first to tell you you work because God is watching. Josh will tell you when he's driving in to stay there till the middle of the night, I'm working because God's watching. When we're standing here and when I'm talking to you, and even if we just let our roast, finish up and we're going to do 6 more pounds, but we're going to stop because we got to handle this thing that's more important. We're doing what we're doing because God has told us to do it, and we're going to make sure that we stick firm to that before anything, no matter who's watching.
And quoting Princess Magpul, who was quoting Daddy Bacchum, amen, hallelujah, praise Jesus.
My favorite.
Wonderful quote.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Princess Magpul, for
we can just shut the whole thing down. Now we're done. Yeah. That wraps it up.
I mean, to an extent, I am.
Yeah.
to the thing as far as New Year's, don't make a resolution. If it wasn't important enough when you decide you were going to do it to start then, it's not going to be important to you. Make a goal. Make a goal. See who you want to be. Envision who you want to be. Someone that's going to be better. Whatever you deem is better. As far as maybe it's healthier, maybe it's more knowledgeable, maybe it's have an increased skill set. Have a picture of that. Have a goal, and don't get discouraged when it doesn't come right away. I tell you what. The business sat stagnant for a while.
Yeah, it did.
And we were fighting. Jonathan, even when we had our problems, it's not like Jonathan wasn't he was chasing down everything he could. There was door after door after door after door closed in our face. And we said, as long as God provides, we're going to keep going. He pushed through, and there was just, it's been an explosion. It's been fantastic. We're by no means rich or even close to being where we want to be, but still, it's been a blessing. And so,
Oh yeah.
don't just say, "Oh yeah, I want to resolve this," because the difference with a resolution and a goal, you're gonna make a plan to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Resolution, everyone just, oh yeah, I want to be this, so this is my New Year's resolution. I'm gonna do this. Okay, how are you going to get there? That's the step that everyone always misses. Nobody goes after is, how am I going to get to this, and how am I going to become this thing that I want to be? So don't make a New Year's resolution. Make a New Year goal.
And the only thing I'm going to add to that, I know we're just about up against the clock here, probably way past it. That goal needs to be something properly based. And I'm going to say this, it's for Christians and non-Christians alike, it still rings true. Make it a proper biblical based, God-honoring goal. Because if your goal is to be a millionaire, I'm sorry, but you're not going to be happy when you hit it. You're not going to find any satisfaction. You'll have some luxury, and you may drive fancy cars and do all that, and that's wonderful. But it needs to be a goal that matters, not something that is just strictly carnal, something based in nature, like something. It's being a family man, being a wise businessman, being a hard worker. If you're looking for fitness goals, that's fine. Keep the lens of taking care of your body, not trying to fit into a pant size. Like if you're trying to for a financial thing, understand why you're trying to provide that provision. Not just because I want to have money in my pocket, but because I've got kids or a wife or whatever you're trying to provide for. If it's your dog, it's your dog. You're still being a good steward of the blessings that God's given you. So whatever you make your goal to be, just don't set yourself up for failure by basing it in something that realistically doesn't matter.
No, that's an excellent point. So,
I think we've pretty much hit it all now, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And then some.
Quite a bit.
All right. Well, with that being said, y'all know we're here, and you'll see it tomorrow. We'll have a nice picture of it because I ran in and missed it this morning. But we've got a nice big light, which we can't say thank you to our friends up at West Tennessee Vapors for getting all that wrapped up for us. But now there's a nice massive light above our door, so you come in and you'll see us lit up from the street. So come find us, come buy some coffee, come chat, come tell us about your New Year's, since we can't get it all through comments. And we're looking forward to seeing y'all, and we're looking forward to it, to a God-honoring year, to another one. Lord willing, more honoring than the last.
Amen. So,
with that being said, I guess we'll wrap it on up. So, anything else you want to add?
Nope. Take him home.
Beautiful. In that case, stay safe, stay free, and stay caffeinated.